Hello and welcome to the Bookshelf Odyssey. My name is Art. Today I'm doing the Cozy Autumn book tag. I first saw this tag on M Reads, a continuing education, a great channel that I just recently found. And she filmed this back in October. And I think this tag is probably meant for more of an October vibe. But it's still fall, and in fact, it's only just started to consistently feel like fall. For some reason, Iowa felt like it had to go back up to the 70s in November for at least a few days. I was not very happy about that, to say the least. I needed to get this done before it stopped being fall and became December and winter and all that. Fall and winter are my two favorite times of year. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this tag is all about. M Reads did not tag me on this, but I'm hijacking it. So there's 10 questions. The first one is, what book always reminds you of the fall or autumn? Obviously, anything by Ray Bradbury just feels like fall. He loved fall. He loved Halloween. He loved, that cold, frosty time of year. So a couple books by Ray Bradbury that really hit the Halloween feel or the fall vibes. In no particular order, we have Something Wicked This Way Comes. It's the story of two boys in Greentown, Illinois, and a mysterious spooky carnival comes to town that they are very suspicious of. For one, why is a carnival coming on at Halloween time? And as the boys investigate this carnival, they realize there's something not quite right with it. There's a great story in here also of one of the boys and his dad. I read this first when I was a father, and a lot of the struggles and uncertainty that the father in this book deals with, I really felt as well. So great story, whether you're a young person or a grown-up, you'll enjoy this story, especially in the cold months of October and November. Then, of course, another classic fall book by Bradbury is The Halloween Tree. This is more particular early fall, obviously, with Halloween. It's basically like a fantasy story where this group of boys who are trick-or-treating, one of their friends goes missing, and a mysterious figure named Moundshroud takes them on this journey through time looking for their friend Pip. And through it, they get a type of lesson about the history of Halloween, how different cultures celebrate the spooky side of things and ghosts and all that. Really fun story. It's young adult, but it's one I think an adult would really enjoy. And I could read this in a day. It's a very quick read, but it's really good. And then another book he wrote called From the Dust Returned. This is like a fix-up novel where he took a lot of the stories of the Elliott family that has a lot of inspiration from, or I can't remember how the timeline developed, but it might have inspired the Addams family or the Addams family inspired it. There's a lot of overlap. In fact, the cover, I believe, is an illustration from Bradbury's classic story Homecoming, which he wrote in Charles Addams of Addams Family fame illustrated. It's a beautiful mixing of minds there. So basically this book is a collection of those stories kind of woven together to create its own novel. Although now that I think about it, I've only read this once, or maybe twice. Anyway, it reminds me of fall, as many of Bradbury's stories do. Pick a collection of Bradbury stories and you'll get that autumn vibe. A couple others I want to point out. One is this collection called The October Season by Juno Jacob. I've had the privilege of interviewing him a couple of times on my podcast. Great, spooky, fall vibe short story writer. I also want to, and these all have Bradbury connections. Juno Jacob is a huge fan of Ray Bradbury. And then this collection by Sam Weller is one of my favorite short story collections, not written by Bradbury. Sam Weller is Bradbury's official biographer, and his biography of Bradbury is so worth reading. It's so beautiful. But these stories are great. Some of them feel like Ray's stories, but a lot of them, he writes with his own voice, and it's beautifully illustrated by Dan Grzeka, I think is how you pronounce it, and it just reminds me of fall, autumn. I starting about October through the end of the year, I love reading all the spooky ghost stories. It's a habit I picked up from Charles Dickens. So those crazy Victorians, right? And then along with that, of course, I'd be negligent to mention some of Charles Dickens's novels. His book, Great Expectations, especially, just feels and reminds me of autumn. So I didn't necessarily mean for that to be quite so Halloween heavy, even because here we are in the middle of November, but what are you going to do? All right. So what is your favorite autumnal book cover? Well, I would definitely go back to From the Dust Returned. Again, it's by Charles Adams, and it's just gorgeous. I know I've got a bit of a glare on there, but you get the spooky old mansion vibes. You get the ghosts and the all that flying around. Here's the picture on the back. Also illustrated again, it's a wraparound picture of by Charles Adams. That's screams fall if you needed a fall vibe. But then I had mentioned Great Expectations, and then this edition, I think it's the Barnes and Noble one, but this one feels like autumn as well, and just probably the colors and that's the illustration there. It's just looks like a couple ladies sitting out under a tree having their tea, and I don't know, it just reminds me of fall, and I love that story. I love reading it this time of year. Number 3, what is your favorite autumnal drink to read with? Well, I'll go ahead and show my cup today. We've got it's got a whole library of classic books on this cup. I got it for Christmas, I believe, last year. And I love drinking apple cider during the fall. And of course, coffee. I don't often drink coffee with creamer, but I will during the fall. I will have the pumpkin pie creamer that I'll add to my coffee, and that gives it a nice little fall taste to it. And then, do you prefer to read late at night or early in the morning? Yes. I mean, both are great. I do struggle a little bit now to stay awake at night, but I can't. Those are both of my favorite times to read, morning and night. I've often said I'm both a morning person and a night owl, so I never sleep. Am I a vampire? Yeah, I might be a vampire. Right. And then number 5, Halloween is coming. Is it? I mean, technically, 10 months, 9 months, 8, 11 months. Never mind. Anyway, Halloween is coming. What is your favorite spooky read? Well, that would have to be, again, anything by Bradbury or Dracula. Oh, so good. That book I've read several times, and each time I'm just amazed at Bram Stoker's ability to write, the atmosphere, the spooky vibes it just gives off. It's classic. It's great. Another favorite spooky read, not just at Halloween, but of course, A Christmas Carol is a ghost story. And there are a couple of scenes in that book that are just downright creepy, and love it. It's a great book to read next to the Christmas tree. What is the ultimate comfort read for you? An ultimate comfort read would be rereading a favorite classic book, like a book by Dickens or Bradbury, or a good cozy mystery, but really reading an old Dickens favorite, especially in December, November, when it's cold and dark outside and inside is warm and you're safe and cozy. It's just fantastic. What is your favorite autumnal reading snack? Well, I don't really snack when I read. I almost have like a hard time eating and reading at the same time. I can drink and read, but it's like eating it. My brain is like, oh, too much. I can't handle both. But honestly, I mean, Snickers, those little fun size Snickers candy. That's just, yeah, that's my favorite candy bar. So that sounds good. Although can't say no to good apple crisp, right? Yeah, actually, apple crisp, good book, cup of coffee. We're in business. Then what is your favorite autumnal candle to burn while reading? Where is it? Oh, right here. In fact, I picked up this candle. I want to say it was from Walmart, but it's called or no, maybe this was Hobby Lobby. Anyway, this one is pumpkin maple custard, but any kind of like pumpkin pie, pumpkin spice kind of smelling candle. That's one of my favorites to burn during the holiday season or during the fall season. And then, of course, as we get closer to end of November, early December, which is still technically fall, switching over to like a good pine candle. Oh, perfect. Prompt 9. When you're not reading, what is your favorite autumnal activity? Listening to an audiobook? But no, really. I mean, I read a lot, guys. My favorite autumnal activity is go for a walk outside when it's cold. Not too cold where you're dying, but you know, it's like in the 30s or 40s. So you have your coat on, I'm walking my dog and listening to an audiobook or some nice Christmas music or something and just hiking through the woods during the fall. Once in a while I've been able to get a picture of a deer running by. It's great. One time I was walking and I this was before I had Pumpkin, but I had another dog at the time. She was a beagle named Rosie. And we were walking through the woods and we kept hearing something like following us. And I was really beginning to freak out because she was just staring intently into the woods like she could see something. And it was kind of spooky. But then right out into the clearing comes this gorgeous buck, huge antlers, just powerful muscles, you know, just a hunter's dream. I'm not a hunter. So I shot it with my camera. I happened to have my camera at the time and it was just beautiful. And I showed it to some of my friends who are hunters and they were like, oh, if only I had a rifle. If you only had a rifle, you would have had like, you know, this wonderful trophy to hang on your wall. And, but you know, that's not me. I'm not a hunter. Yes, I know where my food comes from. No, I don't want to be a part of it. Okay. You know, when you get to be out in the fall and you see like, you know, the squirrels, the animals all getting ready to hunker down for the winter. I don't know. It's really, really lovely. And then number 10, what is on your autumn fall reading list? Well, leading up to events like Halloween, you know, we have Victober, of course, a lot of Victorian reads. I guess even going back to that comfort read question, I feel like Victorian literature is the best during September, the burn months, right? September, October, November, December. And so looking ahead even into early or late fall and early winter, I have some classics lined up. I'm reading right now. I'm reading Silas Marner, which is a great fall book. A lot of it takes place in that cold, wintry, late fall stage. George Eliot just paints a beautiful picture of the country around Silas Marner. I already in my previous video mentioned some Christmas reads I have. A lot of them will be spooky ghost stories kind of thing. A lot of fun reading lined up. Prompt 11 is to tag somebody. And honestly, since fall is pretty late in the season already, I don't think I will. But I do want to direct you to two videos who have already done this tag that I really enjoyed watching. The aforementioned M Reads, her video. And then I also saw this video. I just remembered. I saw it on Book Kelly's channel, Books I'm Not Reading. A great video as well. And I'll link those two down below in the comments if you want to watch. I know it's kind of meant for before Halloween, but it didn't feel like fall then. So we're well into fall now. Things are cozy and I love it. So that's the Cozy Autumn book tag. I hope you're having a cozy autumn. I hope you're reading some wonderful stories. And I'd love to hear all about them in the comments. So tell me what you're reading this fall. What books put you in the mood for autumn, for fall, whatever you want to call it. And that'll be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers. Oh yeah. It's going to be a while. All right. Until next time, thanks for watching. Happy reading, everyone. Take care.